Blue Jays broke the game wide open in the sixth yesterday. Kevin Pillar had 2 hits in that inning. The Blue Jays scored 6 runs on 5 hits, and they have now the opportunity to take 3 of 4 in this series. It is a beautiful afternoon here in Cleveland. Blue Jays wrapping up a 10-game road trip, and they're going to be facing Trevor Bauer for the first time. He's an interesting young man, and he'll make his first big league start against the Blue Jays. He's 24 years old, and he has some quirky routines to get ready for the game.
Yeah, he's got that javelin right there that helps him to loosen up and to strengthen the shoulder muscles, and then he'll start to throw down the left field line. Then he likes to long toss, and he can really stretch it out. It says he loves to throw long toss. He started this when he was 10 years old. Says it helps him to get the ability to make adjustments in game. When you're throwing long toss and stretching out and hitting your target, it helps you to make adjustments.
Trevor Bauer is from California, and he has a pretty good pitching background. John Gibbons would love to finish up this road trip on a positive note. They are 3-6 so far. We mentioned they scored 11 runs on 14 hits yesterday. Let's take a look at the Blue Jays lineup. Devin Travis, Josh Donaldson, and Jose Bautista. Bautista in this series has gone 5 for 11 with 4 doubles and 4 RBIs. He had a 4 RBI game yesterday. And right behind him in the cleanup spot, Edwin Encarnacion. And Edwin, he too has 5 hits in the series, pair of doubles and 3 RBIs. And when it heats up and the calendar turns to May, these 2 sluggers really come around.
55 RBIs in the month of May last year. Let's hope that continues here in this month. Trevor Bauer looking to pitch at full strength for the first time since April the 20th. This is his 5th start of 2015. 2-0, and you can see that earned run average at 180. That's the 6th lowest earned run average in the American League. He'll be seeking to win 3 consecutive decisions for the first time in his career. He's had his problems against the AL East, going 1-4. However, this is his first career start versus the Blue Jays.
Take a look at the defense behind Trevor Bauer. In the outfield, Michael Bourne back in center field. He was not in the lineup yesterday. Brandon Moss is in right. The infield, left side, is Lonnie Chisenhall and Jose Ramirez. Up the second baseman, Jason Kipnis and Carlos Santana. They played every inning of every game for Cleveland. Brett Hayes is back behind the plate today for Trevor Bauer.
And out left field, that's Michael Brantley. Everybody talks about his hitting and how well he is. Well, he's made 1 error in his last 407 ball games. He's a good fielder too.
First pitch from Bauer is outside. This is Devin Travis batting .325. That's that sinking fastball. The only batter in the lineup for the Blue Jays that have faced Trevor Bauer in the past is Michael Saunders. He has just 3 at-bats against him. Look out.
So I think it's important, especially the first couple of batters here in the first inning. Let's see what Trevor Bauer features. He's got a little bit of everything. If you do the scouting report on him, he might throw up to 12 different types of pitches.
Trevor Bauer was the 3rd player taken overall in the 2011 draft. He was a first-round pick of the Arizona Diamondbacks. 2-2, fly ball to right. Beautiful, bright, sunny day. Brandon Moss backs up just in front of the warning track and makes the catch. 1 down. Well, this is the kind of weather that baseball players just love. You can get loose, you feel good, you feel like running around in the grass, and it's a great afternoon for baseball.
But you don't get run down, right? It's not too hot where you run down. You can work up a little bit of a lather, but you don't get tired at the end of the game because it's not too hot.
This is Josh Donaldson. He went 0 for 4 in the game yesterday, but he picked up his 18th RBI of the season. .316 average, 16 and 18 for Donaldson. Goes after the first pitch, grounds it to shortstop. Donaldson's been plagued by a calf injury, so you can see when he hits that routine ground ball, he's going to conserve his legs. Jose Bautista will step in the box with 2 outs and nobody on.
This is his hits this series versus the Cleveland Indians. You can see everything out over the plate. We saw a hanging curveball yesterday from Corey Kluber that he clobbered into the gap into left center field. Jose also had a 2-run single right back through the middle. Boy, we talked about that in the opening with Bautista and Encarnacion. Once you get them starting to swing the bat, and they're both over 200 now for the season, they could carry a club.
High and deep drive to left. Michael Brantley back. It's going to hang up. He's on the edge of the warning track. Bautista just missed the home run. So Trevor Bauer retires the side in order. Drew Hutchison will take them out when we come back to Cleveland. $11 on Thursday, 13 on Friday, and yesterday had a little trouble. Take a look at the lineup. Top of the order, Jason Kipnis, and he's been a tough out in this series. He's 4 for 12, and he scored 3 runs. He's been on base a lot, and they have just moved him up into that leadoff spot. Michael Brantley in this series. These numbers are nothing new against the Blue Jays. He's 6 for 13 for his career. He has hit well against the Blue Jays no matter where these two teams play. That's the lineup, then. Notice there are 8 left-handed hitters in that lineup today facing Drew Hutchison.
And that could be a good thing because he's been able to handle the lefties this season. This is Drew Hutchison's 6th start. Did not factor in decision in his last start, allowing 6 runs on 9 hits with 5 walks in 4+ innings. He did not record a strikeout in that game for the first time since May of last season. That was at Boston when he had a no decision against the Red Sox.
Here's Kipnis, and there's the first pitch strike from Hutchison. 245 for the season. Ball on the strike. Kipnis last year had some problems with that oblique muscle. He missed a lot of time early in the season.
You know what it did? It zapped him of his power and his ability to steal bases. Just had an off season last year for the Indians. He was entrenched in that number 2 hole in that lineup for the Indians. And then last year with the injuries just took away his power.
And change up in the dirt. We mentioned Hutchison pitching well against lefty batters this season. Left-handers have hit just 194 against Hutchison. Right-handers have had a better time, a 421 average. So he's going to have to even out those numbers a little bit, especially against the righties. Pulled that one right into the dirt. This is one thing Kipnis has done throughout this series. He's worked the count very effectively.
6 walks in his last 7 games after drawing 2 in his first 16 games this season. He's had 6 in his last 7.
He's had 3 walks in this series, including walking twice yesterday and coming around to score both times.
That's why Terry Francona has put him up in that leadoff spot in the batting order. Starting to see that batting average climb up also.
Another foul out of play. Terry Francona's team off to a slow start. They're 8-15, already 7.5 games back in the AL Central Division. And Kipnis just laying that barrel on that baseball, protecting that outside corner.
Pretty good 2-strike approach from Kipnis, really tracking that ball. a long time and just fouling off that fastball. This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat.
Ground ball. Travis to his left. Throws out Kipnis, one down. Take a look at the defense behind Drew Hutchison here on this Sunday afternoon. In the outfield, it's Michael Saunders, Kevin Pillar in center, and Ezekiel Pereira making his second start in right field. Infield defense, Donaldson at third, Goins and Travis up the middle, a double play combination. Encarnacion at first, and Russell Martin back behind the plate. Jose Ramirez
and Kevin Pillar in the outfield. Only Bryce Harper and George Springer have played more innings in the outfield this season in Major League Baseball. And you talk about all the great catches, defensive runs saved. He's had 8 this year. Only Lorenzo Cain from the Kansas City Royals have more defensive run saves. All those great catches have been saving the Blue Jays runs.
Well, if you're going to build the confidence of your pitching staff, you better have good defense. And the Blue Jays have improved their defense. They've improved it at second base. They've improved it at third base. Behind the plate dramatically. One and two. Slider, and Ramirez wouldn't chase.
You know, that's where the game is played, up the middle of the diamond, isn't it? And all the good teams, they've got the great pitching, but they also catch the ball, and they're very strong up the middle of the diamond. Even the great teams, when you go all the way back, Big Red Machine was always talked about the great hitting, but they were strong up the middle.
There's a fly ball to left. Michael Saunders to his right makes the catch, 2 down. Yeah, you talk about the Big Red Machine. They had bench, of course, and Concepcion and Morgan up the middle. Geronimo in center. They have terrific defense, and everybody gets wrapped up in hitting, starting pitching. The defense will play an awful long way in your ability to win games.
Yeah, if you can pitch it and you can catch it, you'll figure out ways to score runs to win.
This is the red-hot Michael Brantley. He is 6 for 13 in the series with a homer and 4 RBIs. Well, that was a good pitch. Really tied up Brantley. He's very aggressive, obviously, going after that first pitch, but Hutchison threw it just where he wanted it.
He's going to have to establish, I think, that fastball into the left-handers. You were talking about his changeup going away from the lefties and all the lefties that he's going to face this afternoon, but he has to establish fastball into him and put it in a good spot.
That's pretty good right there. I spoke to Russell Martin about Hutchison today, and I asked him what he needs to do to be consistent. He said, I've got a lot of confidence when he's facing a left-handed heavy lineup like the Indians. He has the ability to get that ball inside, and that sets up the outer half of the plate very effectively.
Just don't miss your spots. You know, that time he wanted to go back in there, and you can see from that pitch tracker that ball was out over the outside part of the plate right there where that number 3 is. He's got to be able to get that ball in there. If you do that, if you establish fastball in, then the slider, the one that snaps down and in, you're going to get your share of strikeouts.
Coming in again. Another good pitch. What a nice play by Encarnacion. He knocks it down, and Hutchison is at the bag. Boy, the defense, we've talked about it, how important it is for a starting pitcher. Encarnacion right there saved a double for Drew Hutchison. Edwards getting a lot of playing time at first. He stays with it, knocks it down, and Hutchison is on time at first.
Presented by the 2015 Honda CR-V, Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
This will be the last game for the Blue Jays here at Progressive Field this year. The Indians won't come to Rogers Center until the end of August, early September. Edwin Encarnacion bends back from a high breaking ball. Edwin is 5 for 11 in this series with a pair of doubles and 3 ribbies. Last May, Edwin hit .281, but he hit 5 doubles, a triple, 16 homers, and 33 RBIs. Bouncing ball, Chisenhall in front of the shortstop. Throws him out. That'll bring Russell Martin to the plate. His average up to .214, and it doesn't sound very good, but given how he started, he is really swinging the bat well right now.
Yeah, just 1 for 24. That's an .042 average through his first 8. Look at the last 14. They average up over 300, and he's driving the ball. And Buck has a very simple approach at the plate that has helped him.
He has decided to use his 2-strike approach. He drives this one right to Marco Bohr, and another hard hit ball. So Martin swinging the hot bat. This time he lines out to the center field. And Martin is using that 2-strike approach and hasn't sacrificed any power whatsoever.
I think he's gotten more power because of that. He's eliminated the leg kick, and his swing's a little bit shorter, and he's driving the ball a lot better.
Kevin Pillar, batting with 2 outs, had 2 hits in the 6th inning yesterday. Blue Jays sent 11 men to the plate. They scored 6 runs on 5 hits, and Pillar had 2 hits in the same inning.
Talk about a guy who is driving the ball to all parts of the field. Starting to get his share of extra base hits.
He's hit .314 on this road trip. 11 for 35. Boy, he's hitting with a lot of confidence, isn't he?
Yeah, he's seeing the ball, he's staying back, and then he's attacking the ball once it gets to the plate, and he's hitting it where it's pitched. He's got 9 doubles this year.
He's tied for first in the American League with Yoenis Cespedes of the Tigers and Robinson Cano of the Mariners. Pretty heady company. 0-2. Bounced in the dirt. What do you do if you're the Blue Jays and facing a guy like Trevor Bauer? You haven't seen him before. What do you do in your first at bat? What are you looking for?
For me, I'm going to try and work the count. I'm going to try and see as many pitches as possible.
Ground ball. Kipnis has it to Santana. Good start to the game for Trevor Bauer. He's retired 6 in a row.
habit that they end up doing during the course of a game. For many, it's sunflower seeds. For Terry Francona, it's chewing gum. In fact, he has been told that he chews between 80 and 100 pieces of gum per game. What he does is he has his tobacco, he wraps the gum around the tobacco and just keeps shoving pieces in his mouth. In fact, in the dugout, they have a big tub just for Terry Francona's bubble gum. He says it's a nasty habit. He knows he needs to quit, but it's just something he has to do during the course of the game. And I know a lot of guys, Buck, say that they don't chew at all during the off season, but when the season's on, they're in the dugout, they just need to be having something in their mouth.
Especially for guys that have been players like Francona, because you can't do anything as a manager. You can see there he goes right back into the bubble gum and tobacco. Right on cue. That's a bunted ball, and that's going to be a beauty. So Carlos Santana is switching in first baseman. So you going to play me in a shift? I'm going to start the inning with a base hit.
Again, we are going to see this more and more. If they're going to give it to you, hitters are greedy. They want hits. You've got three infielders on the right side. The third baseman, pretty much at straightaway shortstop. All you have to do is just get the ball down. You can see Santana. He sees the ball coming. Make sure you get it by the pitcher, and you got yourself an RBI or a base hit. Hitters are greedy. They want those hits.
It says Brandon Moss. First pitch changeup and a good one. Moss came here with the Indians in a trade, and this is a good spot. His first year here. It's a pop into right. Carrera coming in, sunglasses down. He makes the catch, and Moss is retired, one down.
The 2015 Honda CR-V is the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays and Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
David Murphy. Hutchison gets ahead with that first pitch. Murphy's the DH again this afternoon. We mentioned Terry Francona, and you saw that bubblegum bucket had Tito on it. And that's his nickname, but that was his father's name. Tito Francona was a 15-year major leaguer. Played here in Cleveland for 6 years. In fact, there's a great picture of Terry as a youngster in the father-kids game in the dugout here in Old Municipal Stadium. So he's got deep roots in this city. Ball on the strike, one out.
Players love playing for him, too. You know one player who played for him? He's now a coach for the Blue Jays. Tim Leeper played for Terry Francona in winter ball. And they are pals.
Past the diving Donaldson into left field. Murphy has a hit. Santana will stop at second. 2 hits in the inning, a run single, and a ball just off the end of the bat past Donaldson.
David Murphy has not faced a left-hander this year. He is exclusively going to face the right-handers. And if you can do this, take that changeup away and just slap it by the third baseman. Murphy's been doing that for a long time. First with the Texas Rangers, and now here with the Cleveland Indians.
Well, Hutchison and Russell Martin are going to have to make the left-handed hitters onto that inside corner. They've got to keep them off that changeup. That's Hutchison's bread and butter, and they've got to establish strikes inside. This is Lonnie Chisenhall. First pitch fastball. The real asset for Hutchison in neutralizing these lefty bats is his ability to throw strikes inside. That'll keep him honest.
Yeah. It'll also keep them from extending those arms where they can drive the ball. Missed his spot once again. You know, if you can pound in there, those hitters, they like the ball out over the plate where they can extend those arms and reach the ball.
And if you pitch inside and it's not a strike, it doesn't have any effect, because they'll just spit on it and go back to the outside. You need to throw strikes inside. And interesting how sometimes you just have to make adjustments as a catcher and give that target inside. Maybe today Russell Martin's going to have to slide a little bit further inside than he currently is.
Make sure that that ball gets on the inner half. You can see where it is on pitch tracker. Everything has been in the middle of the plate.
Foul tip.
There you go.
That's a more effective pitch. You could see how indecisive Chisenhall was.
Isn't it funny how catchers have to adjust to who they're catching that day? Yesterday, Aaron Sanchez's curveball was outstanding, and Russell kept going to it, and he stayed in the middle of the plate. Now Drew Hutchison, because he's got better control, he's got to move a little bit more.
Got it in there. Popped him up. Hutchison, a former shortstop, and they get a double play. Boy, Russell Martin did a great job of saying, hey, Hutch, he's strayed too far away from second. Hutchison was a shortstop throughout his high school career. Nobody saw this ball. Hutchison, the pitcher, was the only one that sees it. He's pointing up, then he recognizes nobody's going to catch it, and now Martin says, get him in second. And he does to end the inning.
On Tuesday, May the 5th, it is Connect with the Jays night. The first 15,000 fans will receive a Blue Jays and One Love TO Come Together t-shirt. Go to BlueJays.com for more. It seems like we've been on the road an awfully long time, Buck.
We have, Barry, and the Blue Jays will return home 3 against the Yankees, and then after the off day on Thursday, the Boston Red Sox in town for the first time. This is Michael Saunders. Michael just trying to get his legs underneath him after undergoing that surgery before spring training. Seems to be getting stronger each day.
He had a good at-bat yesterday, his last at-bat in the 9th inning when he was able to pull a fastball to right field. Today, a little bit different. You're going to get everything from Trevor Bauer.
Breaking ball outside. Bauer, we mentioned he started out with the Arizona Diamondbacks. This is his 3rd season with the Indians, and he was involved in a multiplayer 3-team trade in December of 2012. Matt Albers, Brian Shaw came from Arizona along with Bauer. Drew Stubbs came to Cleveland from Cincinnati. The Indians sent Shin-Soo Choo, Jason Donald, and Cash to Cincinnati. Lars Anderson and Tony Sipp went from Cleveland. Didi Gregorius went from Cincinnati to Arizona.
Now that's confusing.
A very complicated trade.
And you know, at the time of that trade, Trevor Bauer was the #1 prospect in the Arizona Diamondbacks system.
And the big thing for Cleveland is Trevor Bauer will be under control of the Indians until the 2021 season, all the way through 2020. Breaking ball missed. It's a full count to the leadoff man in the third, Michael Saunders. Bauer has retired 6 straight to start the game.
He's got the changeup, curveball, fastball, slider, splitter. He's got the reverse fastball. He's got a little bit of everything. This time he loses Michael Saunders. Well, one thing for certain for Trevor Bauer, the former #1 player in the Diamondbacks system, is his whip is getting better. And I think this is just young pitchers getting better and better as they get more time, more experience in the big leagues. This year is just 1.1. Anything 1 and under is outstanding. That's walks plus hits divided by innings pitched, and it's just getting better and better. You'll see that from Aaron Sanchez, I think, as the years go by.
Brian Goins shows bunt and pulls the bat back. Goins faced Bauer a couple years ago in AAA when Trevor Bauer was pitching at Columbus in AAA with the Indians. And Ryan said, I only had one bat, and he wasn't really good that day. He said, some days you'll get 91, 92, and some days you'll get 95, 96.
With a lot of late life on its way to the plate.
Explain what that late life does to a hitter. You hear it all the time. He's got late life, but it's really difficult to explain unless you've had to experience it as a hitter.
Well, you're standing there at the plate and you see the windup, you see the release, you see the ball, and then all of a sudden, about halfway to home plate, the ball explodes and it gets on you. You start your swing and you're like, you start to realize, oh, I'm going to be a little bit late because that ball, it's almost like it's got a second gear on its way to home plate.
And you also have your sights set on that baseball about halfway to home, and then that life will take it and move it off the barrel of your bat. That's why raw velocity is deceiving. And hitters will tell you, you know, I can hit 98.
Yeah,
can't hit 93 with movement.
Movement and where it is, I think, more important. And right now, he's lost his release point. 2 straight base on balls.
After retiring 6 straight, Bauer walks back-to-back hitters. Now the number 9 hitter. This is an interesting situation for the Blue Jays. You have a left-handed hitter, Ezekiel Carrera, who had a single in yesterday's game. And then you say, well, he's just walked 2 guys start hitting. Are you going to have him bunt?
I think so, because as a bunter, what's the first thing coaches tell you to bunt?
Get a strike.
Bunt a strike. So if you're going to give yourself up, make sure he throws it in the strike zone.
Santana's in at first, and there's another ball. Boy, now if you wanted to, this would be a perfect time to turn Carrera loose. Look where the infielders are. They're just about 80 feet away.
And watch the right side of the infield, Buck. You could see Carlos Santana hard charging. Jason Kipnis is already making his way over to first base. There's lots of room on the right side of that infield if you want to turn him loose.
Running again, and it's another ball. So it's 2-0 after back-to-back walks to start the inning. And all of a sudden, Trevor Bauer can't throw a strike. Ezekiel Carrera is 27 years old. He's been around a bit, so if you do give him the green light to swing here, you would think he'd get a good pitch to hit. Perfect hitting situation. Bunting again, and he bunts it to third. It's a good one. Carrera moves the runners up. That was a perfect bunt just inside the foul line at third.
And hard enough where the third baseman had to leave his position at third and come in and field that ball. That allowed the runners to move up. And that's why he's getting high fives up and down that bench.
Carrera, of course, was with the Blue Jays all throughout spring training, so he knows all the guys on the club here, and they appreciate the effort. Now Devin Travis has to cash him in. Travis was on base 3 times in yesterday's game. He singled in his first at bat. Ground ball. Santana's going to come home, and they're going to tag out Saunders. Carlos Santana, a former catcher, now a first baseman, made a good throw and a quick judgment to get Saunders at home.
The third base coach will give the base runners instructions on a ground ball, if you're going or not. Let both of them know. Michael Saunders at third base broke and then stopped, and then it was too late to get back going. He was going to be out, I think, at the plate anyway, and then realized that he was going to be thrown out. The runner moved up. Ideally, when you know you're going to get thrown out there, maybe get in a rundown so that batter can get into scoring position.
So now there are 2 outs, runners at the corners for Josh Donaldson. Donaldson grounded to short his first time up. Ball in the dirt. Ed Hayes is behind the plate today. Catcher hit a home run here on Friday night. 3-run home run.
Boy, we can't let him off the hook here. He walks the first 2 batters in the 3rd inning here. You can't let him off the hook.
Yeah, especially where you are in the batting order. You get those guys in the bottom of the order on. They do their job. Saunders walk, Goins walk, Herrera with the sacrifice bunt.
Now it's going to take a 2-out hit. And this is the guy to do it right here. He's a career .318 hitter right here in Cleveland, so he likes it. Likes this ballpark.
Donaldson also this season is 5 for 13 with runners in scoring position. He's done a terrific job. 3-0. Bautista's on deck. You got to believe he's going to have the green light if he sees something he likes.
I would give it to him. You mentioned all the RBIs. 18 RBIs with the 6 home runs for Josh Donaldson. If it feels comfortable. Some people don't like hitting 3-0.
Ball 4. So he'll pass the baton to Bautista. 3 walks in the inning. Blue Jays have yet to score a run. Time to cash it in. Bautista, we mentioned his 4 RBI game yesterday. He has 4 grand slams in his career.
And he also has a very good eye. So they've got him on the ropes right here. He's the perfect guy at the plate. He's not going to go out there and swing at pitches off the plate.
Home run cut. Bautista just missed a home run in his first at bat. He drove Michael Brantley to the morning track. Goins is at 3rd. Travis at 2nd, and Donaldson at 1st. Bases loaded for Bautista. Scoreless game. We're in the top of the 3rd. Bautista does a great job of taking in all the information and making a decision as to what pitch he wants to hit.
And there's a lot of information from Trevor Bauer. He's got so many different types of pitches and throwing them in different situations. Again, the first time that the Blue Jays have faced him.
Laid off that breaking ball. Blue Jays had a big inning yesterday. 6 runs into 6. That broke the game wide open. Bautista had a 2-run double in that inning. Popped it back out of play. Bautista has just missed a couple balls here early in this game.
Yeah, you see a ball fouled straight back like that. He's right on it. And I think this is where Bauer wants to get him right here. 2-2.
There are 2 outs. He struck him out. Bautista went after the breaking ball, and Trevor Bauer, 3 walks in the inning, including back-to-back walks to start the inning. Still no score.
Your chance to win a trip to a round 2 game between the Montreal Canadiens or the Calgary Flames. Great opportunity for fans if you want to see a Stanley Cup playoff game. Buck?
Great opportunity. I think I'll make sure I can log on and put my name in the hat. It'd be great to see a Stanley Cup playoff game in person. As is the case just about everywhere the Blue Jays go. Lots of Blue Jay fans in attendance. Lots of youngsters have come down for the weekend, having a good time, and they've got their Blue Jay shirts on and their caps on.
You've taken your share of pictures with the fans.
Oh, yeah.
They love you.
Well, we walk back from the ballpark here, and, of course, all the Blue Jay fans are doing the same, so we get to meet a lot of them. This is Brett Hayes. Brett Hayes hit the home run against Andrew Albers on Friday night. First man that Albers faced coming into the game, and Hayes hit a 3-run home run. That was in the 5th. Ball and strike to the Indians catcher. Ground ball outside of third, foul. Nice little souvenir for a fan. Coaches and players always anxious to throw those foul balls into the seats and make a fan happy. Give him a great memory of coming to the ballpark. Donaldson will go to his left and throw out Brett Hayes. We're going to go back to the second inning with runners at first and second and 1 out. There was a pop-up on the infield.
And with less than 2 outs, a pop-up in the infield where a player is going to catch the ball. You can see the home plate umpire signal infield fly rule. Now the runners can run on their own discretion. I don't know where Carlos Santana was going there with the infield fly rule, but it ends up being a double play.
Yeah, it worked out perfectly for Drew Hutchison. But the home plate umpire came out from behind home plate, put that arm in the air. And what the umpires will say is, infield fly, batter is out if fair. If that pop-up is in fair territory. Up the middle, Goins makes a nice play, and a strong throw takes a hit away from Michael Bourne. Boy, the defense has been on its toes early on. Encarnacion made a good play in the first. Donaldson made a good play. Now Goins up the middle.
And this is the benefactor of the scouting reports. That's the shortstop catching the ball on the second base side of the bag. Look where this ball is. It's to Drew Hutchison's left. But because they were shifting over up the middle, their scouting reports say that Michael Bourne hits a lot of balls back through the middle. Goins is right there to take a hit away from him.
Back to the top of the order, the leadoff man, Jason Kipnis. Kipnis grounded out to Devin Travis at second. One and two. There's that slider. So far, Hutchison hasn't gotten any of these lefties to chase that slider down and in.
He has not thrown that many sliders, which is a good thing. First time through the lineup. Why show him the slider just yet? If you're getting him out with your fastball and your changeup, no need to show it.
Tried to hit that outside corner that time.
He's got good command. You can tell already this afternoon. Last start, 5 walks, which is very uncharacteristic of Hutch. Today he's been able to throw the ball where he needs to.
Pulled that changeup down and in and bounced it in the dirt. You mentioned that last start. That was in Fenway Park on Tuesday. Hutchison went to the mound in the 5th with a 8-4 lead and couldn't retire a batter in that 5th inning. And gave up a single and 2 walks. He was out of the game. And you know that has fueled his 4 days in between starts, thinking about not getting out of the 5th. And he has talked about it. He said, my team gave me a lead. I can't even get out of the 5th inning.
Yeah, it just broils you and gets you fired up. 3 starts ago, his first time in his career not going 5+ inning in back-to-back starts.
So slice down the left field line, and that's a foul ball off the railing into the seats.
Right off the railing. That was against Atlanta, and so that was 2 starts in a row that Hutch did not finish 5 innings well. He came back out with a vengeance against Baltimore then on the 23rd. 8 innings. The only time a starter's gone 8 innings.
8 innings serves the team so well. You use one relief pitcher, hopefully, and save the rest for the next game. There's a ball driven deep to right field. Herrera is back. This ball is gone. For Kipnis, that's his 2nd home run in the series. For the season, home run number 3. And the Indians take the lead.
It's been effective against the left-handed batters this afternoon, using his fastball and his changeup. He said we haven't seen too many sliders because he hasn't needed it. Well, he threw one here. That's a slider, and it's over the middle of the plate. It looked like he wanted to backdoor that on the outside part of the plate. It came over the middle, and Kipnis puts it in the stands for the Indians' first run. Told you that he was robbed of his power, Kipnis, because of that oblique injury. Nothing wrong with it there.
Jose Ramirez flied out to left field. His first time up. This is a high fly over near the seats down the left field line. That's going to drop on the warning track and bounce out of play. Terry Francona put Kipnis in that leadoff spot to try to spark the offense a bit. That's his 5th hit in the series and 2nd home run. Carlos Carrasco, the pitcher, talking about that ball just went over the edge of the fence. A paint scraper. Let me tell you, the pitchers will take it.
Kipnis, 2 years ago, 17 home runs. Because of that injury last year, just 6. Just 6 home runs. This year, that is his 3rd already.
Ramirez strikes out. The inning is over, but the Indians break through with a solo home run off the bat of Jason Kipnis. Edwin Encarnacion will lead things off for the Blue Jays in the fourth. He's had a big series here in Cleveland, 5 for 12 now. He needs his bat to heat up in the month of May.
Presented by the 2015 Honda CR-V, Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
It's a beautiful ballpark here in Cleveland, Progressive Field, that opened up in 1994, and they do a great job of accommodating the fans. They've made some renovations in the last year to really enhance the experience of coming to this ballpark.
Fans can sit out there in center field, stand out there in center field over the bullpens and watch the ball game. You can make a complete circle now around the ballpark. If you like to walk.
Yeah, a lot of ball clubs are doing that now, and it kind of started at AT&T Park in San Francisco, where they had to walk around. You can move around, and just like they've done at Rogers Center, there's a deep drive to left, but that's going to go foul as Encarnacion broke his bat.
Fans don't like to sit anymore. They like to move around and watch the ball game from different angles and stop and maybe have something to eat and see some of their friends.
Well, I think that's the appeal of these stadiums, that allow fans to get different perspective, because you can see the baseball game from a totally different vantage point as you move around. Edwin now with a 3-1 count, trying to get something going for the Blue Jays. Boy, they let Trevor Bauer off the hook last inning. He walked 3 in the inning, and Blue Jays couldn't score. Perfect pitch.
Perfect pitch. 3-1, and Edwin was looking to do some damage. He's really loading up on that back leg now.
That's bounced off the plate, and Chisenhall makes a short hop play, not in time. A leadoff single for Encarnacion. I tell you what, Chisenhall made a heck of a play, fielding that right by his hip.
And then making a strong throw on the run. We saw a hit like this in yesterday's ball game, right off of home plate. Michael Saunders got it yesterday. Now Edwin thinking base hit. He cuts across the infield. Anytime that third baseman can reach the ball before the shortstop, he'll cut off the distance, in between hop, and then a strong throw, but not fast enough. Encarnacion's got the infield hit.
So leadoff man's on again. Same case last inning. Saunders reached on a leadoff walk. This is Russell Martin. Martin bunts it, and that's going to be played on a hop, and Martin's upset because he hung out Encarnacion. Edwin had to hold his ground. Russell was bunting for a base hit, but got underneath it and popped it in the air. Encarnacion had to make sure he was down safely before he took off for second.
Yeah, there was nothing Edwin could do right there. If he takes off and they catch that ball, he's doubled off. He's got to wait until it hits the grass. It does, and Chisenhall heads up play to get that lead runner.
Martin at first now for Kevin Pillar. First pitch breaking ball's in there for a strike. Pillar on this road trip leads the team with 11 hits. This is the 10th game of the road trip. That hit him on the forearm, and he'll go to first base as he is hit by a pitch. And Trevor Bauer has been putting Blue Jays on without benefit of a hit.
First 2 innings, he was outstanding. 6 up, 6 down. Then he lost the strike zone last inning with 3 walks. And now this wild one. Hits Pillar. That infield hit by Encarnacion was the first hit of the game for the Blue Jays. Here's the second, right off his forearm.
So Pillar's at first. Now Michael Saunders walked in the 3rd inning. Blue Jays getting a good look at a lot of pitches from Trevor Bauer. Saunders taps that first pitch foul at home plate. Now it's 0-2. Weather has certainly improved here in Cleveland. Last 2 days have been perfect for baseball. Got a good crowd on hand as Blue Jays will head home after this game, and you got to believe Blue Jays would love to have Rogers Center open air this next week.
Boy, there's just something about playing in the daytime, isn't there? When it's warm like this, players love it. You get loose just a little bit quicker. Because it's not so steamy and hot, you don't wear down, you don't sweat as much. This is the way the game was supposed to be played in this type of weather.
21 degrees here in Cleveland. There's a base hit through the left side. Russell Martin's turning around third. He's going to score. There'll be no throw. Pillar goes to third. Michael Saunders picks up the RBI, and it's tied at 1-1. Third RBI of the season for Saunders.
Each of these teams, they have taken their turn in this series counterpunching the opposition. Cleveland scores a run, and then the Blue Jays come right back with their run in this inning. That's a good piece of hitting. Down and away, doesn't try and pull it. Shoots it by Ramirez, the shortstop, for the RBI single. Kevin Pillar read that ball perfectly and was able to go first to third on a base hit to left field.
Saunders now is 3 for 4 against Trevor Bauer. Ryan Goins walks in his only at bat. Off speed pitch, he pulls it foul. Blue Jays have had a runner thrown out at the plate. That was in the 3rd inning. Michael Saunders was retired on the fielder's choice 3-2. First baseman to the catcher. There's a deep fly ball to left. That's near the seats, and that one's going to slice into the seats. See the AL ERA leaders. That was Keiko. There's Bauer right there, 180. He is off to a great start.
They've only had 2 hits off of him, but they've had him on the ropes here the last couple of innings. They have to take advantage of it. He has gotten off to a great start.
Took a shot at that outside corner. He wanted that backdoor breaking ball going. Now with a 1-2 count. Blue Jays left the bases loaded in the 3rd. Then in the bottom of the 3rd, Jason Kipnis hit a 2-out home run. Bouncing ball, Santana. They have the runner hung up. Pilar is in between home and 3rd, and now he's going to make it back to 3rd. Santana never gave the ball up, and Kevin Pilar got back to 3rd before Santana could tag him.
Why he didn't get rid of the ball, I have no idea. Why he held on to the ball, ran all the way across the diamond. You're taught as a corner infielder, if there is a double play ball hit to you, you got to turn the double play. Forget about the run. This ball's at one hopper right to him. He should have gone to second base and then back to first. They would have been out of the inning, but for some reason he's going to run it all the way across the diamond, and he never gives it up. And Pilar says, well, thank you. I'll just go right back into third base with a head-first dive. And another mistake by Santana. Now the Blue Jays have to take advantage of this.
Remember, Santana was the base runner that was doubled up at second base in the 2nd inning. I tell you what, Kevin Pilar does something every day to help you win a game. He came off the bag to get the attention of the first baseman and keep them from turning to double play. And then he keeps the inning going because he gets back to 3rd.
I don't even know why Santana was even watching the runner at third base. Turn the double play, you're in the dugout. And that was a tailor-made double play.
Perfect.
One hopper to the first baseman.
Ezekiel Carrera need to take advantage of the miscue by Santana. A run in here in the top of the 4th. Another off-speed pitch.
Here's that double play possibility one more time. He's holding the runner on, and he's going to bounce off, and it's a one-hopper right to him. All he has to do is turn to second, throw to second, get back to the bag. But he elects to do that. He should have given the ball up when he was right at the pitcher's mound. Giving it up to Chisenhall, got in the rundown. But the Blue Jays will take that, and now they've got to cash it in.
0-2. Chopper, that's going to get a run in. Bauer thinks about home, and now he makes a mistake. There was no way he should have thought about home. Boy, the Indians have made some mistakes early in this game. This time it's the pitcher, Trevor Bauer.
Well, as soon as that ball hit off the plate, he should have figured, okay, let me just get an out here. But for some reason, after Carrera checks his swing, he catches the ball and actually looks. He's got to get some help from his infielders. Catchers in those situations will be yelling 1-1-1-1-1 for first base, or the second baseman will tell him where to throw the ball. But that split second where he looked towards home plate, that allowed Pilar to score. And the Blue Jays will certainly take it.
The Blue Jays might want to dig up this home plate and take it back to Rogers Center.
They're hot.
It's really played into their game today.
Number 29.
They have bounced balls off home plate. It's led to 3 runs so far. 3 hits, excuse me, and 2 runs. They've scored 2 in this inning. Okay, Devin Travis. Now you need a big hit.
Yeah, and I think the first pitch, he's going to want to get ahead of him quickly, strike one. So be ready to hit that first one.
He was. It was an off-speed pitch.
Hey, whatever the Indians are doing, the Blue Jays will take it.
They've had a rough day defensively and on the bases. Now Blue Jays have to take advantage of it. Still just one out. The bases remain loaded. There's a fly ball deep to left field. This ball is hit a ton and gone. Devin Travis, a grand slam home run. His first big league grand slam home run, and he kicks the door wide open here in Cleveland.
They're the first Blue Jay to top 20 RBIs. You keep giving major league hitters and teams opportunities like Terry Francona's team does this afternoon, and they're going to take advantage of it. That ball is scalded to left field by Travis. And he can't believe it. Trevor Bauer cannot believe it.
Boy, the Indians gift wrapped another 6-run inning for the Blue Jays here.
They should be in the dugout hitting. Santana turns that ball over. That's double play. The inning's over. But those are earned runs.
Donaldson pops it up to right. Moss fighting the sun. The right fielder makes the catch. Devin Travis. Boy, what a start to his young career. That's home run number 7. And remember, you go back to the spring training edition, Major League Preview edition of Sports Illustrated. And that has been a notorious jinx.
It's been a big jinx. People are still talking about that.
Bautista fouls into the seats.
Running into some of the people who work here at the ballpark this morning. They were talking about that Sports Illustrated cover jinx. Worst thing that could have happened to him is, hey, don't panic. You're still okay. You've got good pitching. Well, if you don't field the ball, I don't care how well you pitch. If you don't make the correct plays.
Or how about Kevin Pillar's play? When he got out of the rundown and stayed away from Santana, slid back in safely to third. It changed the complexion of the inning, and then Santana not turning 2. Like you say, that's the end of the inning.
Mm-hmm.
But Kevin Pillar does something every day to help you win a game. With his glove, with his legs, with his bat. Bautista lays off a tough pitch. It's now 3-1.
And a pitcher, what's he thinking right now? What do I have to do to get these guys out? You start trying to throw that perfect pitch. You start trying to paint on the corner, and now you find yourself behind once again.
Bautista thought it was ball 4. This is the 7th time this season Blue Jays have scored 5 or more runs in an inning. Bautista wasn't going to take any chances on that close pitch. What an explosive lineup. Balance in the lineup. How about the production of the 7, 8, 9 hitters once again today?
Get on base.
They turn the lineup over.
Get on base. Turn it over.
There's a fly ball deep to left. Brantley back at the track, at the wall. It's over his head, off the wall. Bautista will stop at second with another double. That's his 5th double in this series.
They hit 5 of them in yesterday's game. The Blue Jays, 5 doubles in yesterday's ball game. They also had a bat around inning. That was in the 6th inning, and that's a 3-2 pitch right there. Jose thinks he doesn't get it, but he's going to have to run because it carries off the wall. Kicked around again by the Indians, but Bautista's at second base.
Edwin singled to start the inning. He scored the first run on the Saunders base hit to left. Check that. Edwin was forced out at second by Russell Martin on that bunt attempt. Lots of things have happened. Bautista, boy, he read that perfectly. Ball in the dirt. He moves up 90 feet.
Boy, right now, Trevor Bauer, his head is spinning, trying to figure out a way to get through this inning.
Boy, what a good job by the Blue Jays after Bauer retired 6 straight to start the game. Then he walked a couple, and then the roof caved in here in the 4th. This is popped up between the mound and home. Chisenhall, the third baseman, calls for it, and the inning is over. For a second time in this series, the Blue Jays have had a bat-around inning. Devin Travis, another first for the young second baseman. His first big league grand slam, part of a 6-run inning.
A couple of major opponents from the American League East. First, the Yankees come in May 4th through 6th, and then the Red Sox May 8th through 10th. Also in the month of May, we'll see a couple of former Blue Jays and Jay Happ and the Mariners and Melky Cabrera and the White Sox. And about the way the Blue Jays bats are going right now, I bet you they are looking forward to seeing the Red Sox pitching later next week.
There certainly are. A chance to make some ground up in the AL East with those two big rivals coming in, New York and Boston.
I don't think the Yankees are excited to face the Blue Jays hitters. That's what I think.
Yeah, hitters are really starting to swing it now.
Especially
Devin Travis, his 7th home run. He has 23 RBIs. He's just not leading the team. He's among the league leaders in that department.
Oh, he's so quick on the inner half. They tried to throw that fastball by him, and he just...
He's now second in the American League to Nelson Cruz. Cruz has 25 ribbies. Travis has 23. Boy, if there's not a bigger inning for Drew Hutchison than right now, I've not seen one.
Well, you've got 3, 4, 5 left-handed batters. The best left-handed batters that the Indians have to offer right now. So just throw it. Force them to hit their way on. Granted, he was sitting over there a long time. A lot like Aaron Sanchez was sitting over there in yesterday's ball game for a long time, and he was not able to finish the bottom of the inning. That was in the 6th yesterday.
Ball is drilled to right. Carrera will watch it skip off the wall over his head. Brantley is headed for second. That's a leadoff double. Let's check it with Jamie Campbell. He's got an update. Carnes has allowed just 1 hit through his 3 innings of work. He has a couple of strikeouts, and Chen has given up that solo home run to Loney. It's his 2nd of the season. Baltimore got a great start yesterday from Miguel Gonzalez, and somehow the Orioles scored 4 runs off Chris Archer. Blue Jays can't figure him out at all.
Can't figure him out at all. And lost his 3rd game of the year. Guy we see is like Cy Young.
Carlos Santana had a bunt single in the 2nd, his first time up. Brantley with his 7th hit. of the series. The leadoff double here in the fourth. You just can't allow the Indians to score here. It's a 6-1 game. You just score 6 runs, and you encourage the Indians if they bite into that lead.
Yep. Make your pitches. Concentrate like it's nothing. Make your pitches. Put the pressure back on them. Put Trevor Bauer back out on that mound quickly. He'll have thoughts of that last inning.
Last season, Hutchison pitching to Brantley here in April. To Santana, gave up a 2-run home run to Santana on a 3-2 pitch. That gave the Indians a lead, 2-1 at the time. The Blue Jays would come back and eventually win that game. The Jays are 3-6 on this road trip. This is the 10th and final game. The Jays won the opener 5-1 here in Cleveland. Lost Friday night 9-4. Won Saturday afternoon 11-4. And now they have a 6-1 lead. Base hit through the vacated shortstop position. Goins was playing up the middle. Donaldson straight away at third. Santana's 2 for 2.
The 2015 Honda CR-V is the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays and Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
Santana's 2 for 2 with a bunt single and a single to left. Remember, there are 8 left-handed hitters in this lineup, and they've counted for 5 hits. This is the dangerous Brandon Moss.
Yeah, he can lose one very quickly, and they'll be right back in the ballgame. The Blue Jays are going to play deep and try and turn 2. They'll get 2 outs and exchange that for a run. There they are on the infield, very deep. Looking for any kind of out right here, even a sacrifice fly.
You're right, just get outs, and if you have to trade a run for an out, so be it. We mentioned Hutchison had trouble in his last start at Boston on Tuesday. He went into the 5th inning with an 8-4 lead and couldn't retire a batter. There's a line drive to left as Brantley goes back to tag. Here's the throw to the plate. It'll be cut off. They trade it out for a run. Moss picks up his 17th RBI on the sacrifice fly to left.
That left the bat. It looked like it was going to be a base hit to left field, but it hung up there. Michael Saunders got a good jump on that ball. Well, he might have had a shot to get the runner at the plate. But you're right. Blue Jays just get the run. Breaking ball away, slaps it the other way, and it hangs up there long enough for Saunders to make the catch, and then cut off by Donaldson.
The Indians have done a nice job of covering that outside corner today.
So the Blue Jays defense might want to pick up on that. Maybe don't shift or overshift, if you will, as much.
This is David Murphy. Murphy single to left, going the other way. But that's what's interesting about the flow of a game. As defenders, whether it's the catcher or the infielders, you've got to pick up on the adjustments the hitters are making. He stayed on that pitch.
Well, remember we talked in the first inning what is going to be important for Drew Hutchison? establishing inside with that fastball to these left-handers. Since that first inning, when he had a 1-2-3 inning, he's been throwing a lot of pitches out over the plate.
He really hasn't gotten dominant inside. He's thrown a pitch or two in there, but not enough to make the Indians hitters aware of it. They still have that approach where they're looking for the ball out over the plate.
And they've got it, and they're starting to slap the ball the other way.
Back up the middle. Goins will race to the bag, go to first. A nice double play by Ryan Goins. Hutchison swiped at it. Goins took it behind the bag and raced to the bag to complete the double play and close out the Indians in the bottom of the fourth. Now it's time for Blue Jays Central.
Listen to live audio, follow games pitch by pitch, and enjoy in-game video highlights. The app is available on the iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, and Android. Season-long subscription packages are available. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. And you need that app, Buck, to keep track of what happened in that inning with the Toronto Blue Jays scoring all 6 of those runs.
Boy, absolutely. A little bit of everything. Encarnacion had a chopper base hit to start the inning. Kevin Pillar got hit by a pitch. And Pillar stays alive, getting back to third ahead of the tag by Santana. A little bit of everything. This is Russell Martin. He waves at that breaking ball. We mentioned Russell swinging the bat well. He's choked up on the bat and has taken his two-strike approach into his entire at bat. He believes that he has better bat control, and he hasn't sacrificed any power. Russell has 5 doubles and 4 home runs.
Isn't it funny when guys start struggling a little bit, they look for anything? So he looked for that two-strike approach, and it's worked. That batting average is slowly coming up.
Chisenhall backhands it, gets to his feet, throws wide of first, but Santana dropped the ball. Santana with a stretch out toward right field. The throw was all flying, and he couldn't stretch toward third to cut down the distance that ball had to travel.
The Indians' defense is doing a huge favor for the Blue Jays. Chisenhall has a strong arm, and if the throw's on target, it's an out. But you can see just off the webbing of the glove, Trevor Bauer is going to have to pick up his teammates. He wanted that out.
It's a base hit for Russell Martin.
All these extra pitches because of the mistakes that they have made on defense. It's going to send Trevor Bauer to the showers early. And it's going to force Terry Francona to go to his bullpen.
Well, and Bauer contributed to his problems in the fourth inning as he got a chopped ball off the plate, looked at home, and by that time Carrera was at first safe. That's Mark Zepchinski, who is ready in the Indians bullpen.
Yeah, you forget about that play. That should have been an out over at first base.
2-1 to Pilar. Kevin Pilar grew up in the San Fernando Valley. He went to high school at Chaminade, and Trevor Bauer went to a high school in the San Fernando Valley as well. This is popped up. Fly ball into center field. Brandon Moss shading his eyes. Makes the catch. He's checking with Jamie Campbell.
Now at bat for Toronto, number 21, Michael Saunders.
Boy, that Houston Astros team is just going crazy. They're getting great pitching, they're getting timely hitting, and everybody in that lineup is making a contribution. Last night it was Jake Marisnick making a terrific defensive play, going up on that hill in that ballpark and making a catch.
Towles Hill, center field.
Tal Smith, that's named in honor of Tal Smith, and Marisnick's hitting .400 for the Astros. Altuve at .368, and it has been some start for the Astros as they're 10 games over 500 and have a 6-game lead in the AL West. Michael Saunders with the 1-1 count. We mentioned Trevor Bauer went to high school in the San Fernando Valley. He went to Hart High School. We mentioned that because there's some pretty good pitchers that went to Hart High School as well. James Shields of the Padres went to Hart High School. Bob Walk of the Pirates also went to Hart High School. Todd Zeile, who had a long career, started with the Cardinals. Kevin Millar, he played 12 years in the big leagues. They all went to Hart High School, good athletic high school out in the San Fernando Valley in California.
Trevor Bauer was one of those guys also. He also went to UCLA and set all kind of records for the Bruins when he got there. Most strikeouts, most wins, most innings pitched for the UCLA Bruins. He was a first-round draft pick of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Michael Saunders with a 1-2 count. Upstairs now 2-2. UCLA's produced some pretty good athletes.
Yeah, 42.
Jackie Robinson, of course. Former Blue Jay Casey Jansen went to UCLA. Had a couple basketball players play there too, I think.
Just a couple.
Saunders pulls it through the right side. That's a base hit. Martin will turn and stop at second. Michael Saunders with a perfect day at the plate, a walk and 2 singles.
A lot of frustration right now for Trevor Bauer after that ball found a hole. His defense didn't do him any good or any help this afternoon. Now Terry Francona's out to the mound.
Tough day for Trevor Bauer, and the defense and his own inability to make a play at first may have cost him a run in that 4th inning. So he is out. Mark Zepchinski will come on for a second time in this series. The Blue Jays have a lead early. and then they can win this ballgame, take 3-4 from the Indians. Tomorrow night, the Yankees will be in town. A 3-game series. Then after the off day on Thursday, Boston wraps up the homestand with 3. Tomorrow's starting pitchers: Chase Whitley for the Yankees, R.A. Dickey for the Blue Jays. That's the opener of the 3-game series. Dickey winless in April, trying to get in the win column. Whitley off to a decent start.
How about the Yankees? They come to town. They will be leading the AL East. They've 15-9 starting today.
You have a 2-game lead over Tampa Bay, 3 over Baltimore and Boston, and 3.5 over the Blue Jays. There's a ball up the middle. Zepchinski may have deflected it right to the shortstop. And Goins, a tough luck double play to end the inning. Zepchinski kicked at it and may have deflected it just enough to turn it into a double play. Goins can't believe it. Take a
Game Center Live for a chance to win the ultimate VIP experience at a Stanley Cup final game and more. Visit sportsnet.ca/Stanley Cup moments for more details. Buck?
Thank you very much, Barry. We head to the bottom of the 5th, and that young camper right there, I guess he's upset that the Indians gave up 6 runs in the 4th.
He just looked at the scoreboard.
There's no crying in baseball. Come on. It's a beautiful day. You've probably had 6 or 7 hot dogs already. This is Lonnie Chisenhall, the third baseman. He grounded into a double play, or popped into that double play. That was the pop-up that Santana drifted too far away. Here he's going to get a base hit. This is looped down the right side. That's a fair ball. And the ball boy came over and made a nice play on it and say, hey, you want a souvenir?
Whoops.
Whoops. That's a do-over for the ball boy. He had it played perfectly. Unfortunately, it was a fair ball.
See that white line right there? If it's on the other side of that, you can't touch it.
Yeah, that's not your ball. Let the right fielder have it.
I don't think they were going to be able to get Chisenhall because he runs too well and it was hit just down the line. That was going to be extra bases no matter what. And now he can jog into second base because it was touched.
And that guy right there is just thrilled that they don't put numbers on their backs of the ball boys so they don't know who he is. Brett Hayes, the catcher, after the leadoff double. Now that kid's really upset. That could have been a triple. 0-2 to Hayes.
Leadoff double last inning, given up by Drew Hutchison, and the Indians will score a run. It'd be nice if they can strand him out there at second base. Keep that momentum on the Blue Jays side.
He chased that pitch up and away and strikes out. That's the second strikeout for Hutchison.
The championship-winning Honda CRF 450R for those who dare to ride red.
Lake Erie, just a few blocks away from Progressive Field, and it's been a beautiful weekend. A lot of people out on the water. Some people out there chasing the fish around. A great spring weekend. Michael Bourne, he was robbed of a base hit. A nice play by Ryan Goins back in the third inning. Goins made a play on the first base side of second on the outfield grass.
Robbed of a hit now. It looks like Bourne's trying to serve that ball the other way. There's a gigantic hole between the third baseman Josh Donaldson and the shortstop Ryan Goins. And with his speed, all he has to do is get it on the ground, and he'll beat it out.
Martin chases Chisnall back to second. That ball looked like it had a chance to get back to the screen. Two and one to Michael Bourne. He's batting ninth. Now it's 3-1. Hutchison, it's been a bit of a struggle for him. He hasn't walked a batter. He gave up a home run to Kipnis in the third. 6 hits overall. But the Blue Jays lead it 6-2. There's a breaking ball for a strike.
That's a good one. 3-1 count. Bourne's looking for a fastball, and he's changed up on him. Threw him that breaking ball. Got to get this guy out. I don't want Kipnis coming up with a couple of runners on.
Pop back out of play. Full count to Michael Bourne. Oh boy, that's the first walk issued by Hutchison, and it comes with one out here in the fifth.
Now for the drive, stepping to the plate, number 22,
Young Gibbons contemplating now. He just gets Jeff Francis up after that walk. He's thinking along the same lines. You don't want Kipnis, who's swinging a hot bat, coming up with runners on base, and he's very cognizant of Michael Brantley.
Absolutely. Michael Brantley has been tough to retire for the Blue Jays, and this goes back to the third inning with Kipnis.
This is why you'd like to get that number 9 batter out, because Kipnis homered for the third time this season on that breaking ball. He has been on base a lot in this 4-game series, and now he gets to hit with a couple of runners on.
First and second, one out. Blue Jays have turned 2 double plays. One was a pop double play in the second. They turned a 6-3 double play in the fourth. Kipnis on the ground off Donaldson's glove. Chisenhall's coming around third. He's going to score. Bourne cruises over to third, and look out, here come the Indians.
They'll never say die. They got the right part of the order coming up after the bottom of the order got on base. And that was a tough play for Donaldson. It was hit sharply by Kipnis the other way. And you can see how that ball hit and skipped up over his glove. One run's going to score. And the other runner, Bourne's going to go to third base, really setting up the inning for the Indians.
Absolutely. A tough part of the batting order for Drew Hutchison. Ramirez, then Brantley. Runners at the corners, still just one out. Now it's a 6-3 game. Chisenhall had it started with that double down the right field line. Jose Ramirez struck out and flied out in his 2 trips. Hutchison again, like in his last start, having trouble here in the 5th.
It was a long inning last inning. So now he's got to figure it out right now that Harmer's not coming through. Look where that first pitch is, up and away to the left-hander.
That ball is drilled to the alley. Carrera on the run, off his glove. Bourne's in to score. Kipnis is being stopped at third as they get the ball back in quickly. Carrera did everything he could. He actually got a glove on the ball, but it tipped off his glove and fell to the warning track in deep right center.
That would have been an unbelievable catch if he could have come up with it. Ball's hit on the nail by Ramirez. Another high pitch out over the plate, and he hits it hard to right center field. Carrera does everything, and then momentarily it's in his glove, and then it just leaks out. And if he comes up with it, they don't score a run in the run. Kipnis has to go back to first base, but that play right there knocks Drew Hutchison out of this ball game.
Hutchison out of the game here in the 5th. Jeff Francis picked up the win on Thursday night with a good relief effort. He'll inherit runners at second and third, and a dangerous hitter in Michael Brantley at the plate when we come back to Cleveland. 6-4 Blue Jays. As we mentioned, picked up the win here on Thursday night. He came in relief of Daniel Norris. He started the 4th inning, went 2 1/3, allowed a run on 3 hits, had a good outing.
Yes, he did. 3 hits, a run, 3 strikeouts in that game. That's where he got that first win. 360 earned run average. He's going to have to face some tough hitters for the Cleveland Indians this afternoon. Francis, he's a veteran. He's been here before in these situations, and now our friend is very happy because the Indians are right back in this one.
Yeah, he's all smiles now. They've scored 2 runs, and they're threatening to score more here. Francis on to face Michael Brantley. Brantley doubled and scored in the 4th. Kipnis at 3rd. Ramirez at 2nd. All started with a leadoff double by Lonnie Chisenhall. Switch hitting first baseman is on deck, Carlos Santana. And he's 2 for 2 already today with a bunt single and a single to left. Well, Francis has inherited a tough situation.
Boy, he's good with runners on base, too. Brantley, he really makes that pitcher come to him. He's not going to fish for anything right now with first base open.
3-4 in the batting order. So Brantley has the protection of Santana behind him. Base hit. Kipnis is coming in to score, and they're going to wave the runner home. Here's the throw. It's a good throw, and Ramirez is safe. He avoided the tag. The throw was right on line, and the Indians have tied it up.
Well, you got a great hitter in Brantley at the plate, and he shoots the ball the other way. Mike Sarbaugh, the third base coach for the Indians, very aggressive with Ramirez, the runner at second base. It looked like, one more time, 2-0 pitch for Brantley, and he shoots it right through the left side. It looked like Ramirez got his feet tangled up coming around third base. Heck of a throw by Pilar, but he gets in there ahead of the tag, and they've tied it up. Coming around third base, he got his feet tangled and might have missed the bag. Or if he caught it, it just got his spike on it.
Carlos Santana with Brantley at second. Still just 1 out. First pitch breaking ball.
Well, let's see. Again, coming around the bag. Wasn't real sure. You could see him. He started leaning into it just a little bit. It looked like he just barely got that spike on the bag. And a good turn, and he scores the tying run.
Cleveland with 4 runs in this inning. It's a 6-6 game. All 6 runs will be charged to Hutchison. Another slow breaking ball. It's 1-2 to Santana.
He's going to have to do it. He's going to have to throw that breaking ball over for strikes. Keep these hot hitters off balance.
Got that inside, and Santana fights it off. Tough lineup for Terry Francona, and they have not been hitting, but boy, they have come alive here in this series. After getting just 6 hits yesterday, they have 9 already this afternoon. They had 11 on Thursday, 13 on Friday. Shut down to 6 yesterday, but once again on the verge of double-digit hits.
And no quit. 6 runs for the Blue Jays in the 4th. They're down 6-1, and here they come. They're fighting back.
Santana got a piece of that off-speed pitch.
Takes Trevor Bauer off the hook by tying it up. Drew Hutchison cannot finish 5 innings for the 4th time this year, and he can't win this one. After 4 innings, it looked like for sure this one was in the bag for him. Just couldn't finish 5 again.
He had to sit on the bench a long time as Blue Jays scored 6 runs in the 4th inning, but he was able to just hold him to a run. It's a disappointing start for Hutchison once again. Close one, just took that breaking ball.
You can see Santana's got a great eye at the plate. He set a single season club record in walks last year with 113 walks. Power hitter with a good eye. Does that sound familiar?
Jose Bautista.
He's not going to chase.
Full count, 1 out. Brantley just eases back into second base. There's another walk. Santana's been on base all 3 times he's come to the plate. Hutchison for the season has been given 8.2 runs of support, and he's had many leads, and he hasn't been able to qualify by pitching 5 innings in 4 games now. So Francis gives up a single and a walk since coming into the game. Another left-handed bat is Brandon Moss. Miguel Castro, the young right-hander, starting to loosen up for the Blue Jays. Remember, there are 8 lefties in this lineup. Only right-handed bat is the catcher Brett Hayes in the 8th spot. It's a fly ball into shallow left field. Saunders coming in near the line. That's just the 2nd out of the inning. David Murphy is the scheduled batter. It'll be a pinch hitter coming off the bench with Francis in the game.
It's got to be Ryan Rayburn, doesn't it? This guy's been swinging a magic wand against the Blue Jays in this series.
Rayburn comes off the bench as a right-handed hitter. He'll bat for the DH, David Murphy. And Rayburn's had a good series coming into this game today. Rayburn 5 for 7 in the series. All 5 hits are singles.
And he has been really good this season with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. 3 for 6 this year. He comes off that bench swinging, so be careful early.
2 outs. He's swinging. That's a fair ball down the left field line. Brantley's around third. He's going to score. Santana's being waved home. Saunders had a little trouble digging it out, and Ryan Rayburn on the first pitch delivers a pinch 2-run double. 6 runs for the Indians.
Why wait around? First pitch you like, go and get it. And Rayburn jumps all over that pitch from Jeff Francis. The Indians have now batted around. Watch this. Told you he's been swinging a hot bat. Catches way too much of the plate. He keeps it fair by Donaldson. And it took a while to dig that one out of the corner. And by that time, Santana could circle the bases. And just like that, the Indians are up by 2 runs.
So they have both had 6-run innings, and the Indians aren't done yet. Lonnie Chisenhall hit a double to start the inning. You remember, that's the ball that the ball boy down the right field line played. It was a fair ball. So he was given a double. It was going to be a double no matter what. But the ball boy thought it was a foul ball and played it and offered a souvenir to the fans. But they have taken that leadoff double and turned it into 6 runs.
3 doubles 2 walks and 2 singles this inning for the Indians. They don't have a lot of power. I'll tell you what, they will hit the ball all over the park, take what the pitching gives you. And Rayburn comes up with a clutch 2-out hit. That's his 4th hit this year with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
Rayburn with the 2-run double as a pinch hitter. The Indians now have 5 pinch hit RBIs. That's just their 4th hit in 19 at-bats. So the next batter is a right-handed batter, Brett Hayes, and John Gibbons has made the call to the bullpen. So Jeff Francis comes out of the bullpen, and he can retire just 1 batter. He faces 5 and retires just 1, gives up a 2-run single, a 2-run double, and now walks Chisenhall, and he is out of the game. Brett Hayes is the batter. He's a right-handed hitter, and Miguel Castro, the youngster, will come on to pitch. We're still in the 6th.
Cup playoffs and Toronto Blue Jays. Shop tsc.ca.
Thank you, Barry. Rough inning for the Blue Jays. Cleveland has scored 6 runs in the inning. Miguel Castro making his 13th appearance. Castro had a good inning of work here the other night. He came into the ball game on Friday night, pitched an inning and had a couple of strikeouts.
You know what he had? He had that sinker back. The sinker that we saw early in the season. He was getting on the side of the ball just a little bit too much, and it was flattening out that fastball. That time he was getting on top, and he was really driving it towards home plate. Big situation here.
8-6 Cleveland, 2 outs, and Hayes goes after the first pitch. Brett Hayes struck out in the 5th against Drew Hutchison.
This inning.
This is the 5th.
He could end up with a couple of outs this inning. Just like Kevin Pillar, Buck, had 2 hits in the batter-out inning for the Blue Jays yesterday. Hayes could have a couple of outs in this batter-out inning.
After the leadoff double, Hayes struck out for the first out of the inning.
There's that good sinker at 98.
The Indians got their first look at Castro on Friday night, and they were impressed. He pitched out of a tough jam. Gave up the leadoff single, then air by Donaldson put him in a tough spot, but he retired the next 3 with 2 strikeouts to end it. Well, that's power sinker right there, 98. Looks like Castro may have refound that great sinker. But the Indians score 6 runs. Castro ends it by striking out Brett Hayes, who strikes out twice in the 5th inning. His 8-6 Cleveland.
May 10th, the Blue Jays host the Red Sox at 1:07. For the first 20,000 fans, you'll receive a Josh Donaldson white replica jersey. Go to BlueJays.com for more. Buck?
That's coming up next Sunday. Make sure you're there at Rogers Center. Should be a great way to celebrate Mother's Day. Come on out to the ballpark and get yourself a Josh Donaldson jersey. Well, we got a brand new ball game as both teams have swapped 6-run innings. Blue Jays had 6 in their half of the 4th. Indians had 6 in the 5th. Mark Sepchinski came into the game in relief of Trevor Bauer, and he got the double play to end the 5th inning.
And now it's your bullpen versus my bullpen. Let's see who wins this one. Blue Jays have their work cut out for them.
Carrera had a sacrifice bunt in the 3rd inning, and then an RBI single. He scored a run in the 4th. Carrera playing in the 2nd game, just called up from AAA Buffalo. He was with the Blue Jays in the spring and was brought in to compete for an extra outfielder spot. But he had a rough spring. He probably recognized what was at stake, put a little extra pressure on himself, and the early part of the spring he didn't swing the bat well. Second half of the spring he started to swing it better, but by then he'd already lost his opportunity to make the team.
And then went down to AAA, got some consistent playing time, got the stroke back, and here he is. Boy, he almost came up with that catch in right center field. That would have been a circus catch. He made a catch like that when he was with Detroit. There's Brian Shaw, who is now up and throwing for the Indians.
Yeah, he made that catch in support of Max Scherzer at Yankee Stadium, going away from the field in a terrific all-out effort. Sepchinski strikes out Carrera. Now it's time for the drive of the game. It's presented by the 2015 Honda CR-V, Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
Blue Jays were looking for a big hit in that 4th inning when they scored 6 runs, and here it is. It's this afternoon's drive of the game as Devin Travis gets his 7th home run of the season in his first Grand Slam, the first Grand Slam for the Blue Jays this season. That capped off that 6-run 4th inning. Devin Travis has the drive of the game.
His first career Grand Slam and the first Grand Slam for the Blue Jays since last May when Kobe Erasmus hit a Grand Slam against the Pirates. Brian Shaw coming into this ball game, and it is a battle of the bullpens. Devin Travis will face Shaw when we come back to Cleveland.
question is, when will we see him back out in right field? Yesterday he was asked about throwing a baseball, and he said, quote, "Right now I'm physically unable to do it. It is physically impossible." That is not good news, because not only does that keep his defense out of right field, it keeps Edwin Encarnacion at first base, Justin Smoke's bat, out of the lineup. So it definitely has an effect on quite a few players. And it looks like it may be a while before we see him throwing even a baseball, Buck.
Yeah, that really puts pressure on John Gibbons, because he would like to use that DH to rotate guys in there. And Encarnacion's played a lot of first base, and he's starting to feel the impact of that. Justin Smoke was swinging the bat well, but he hasn't had many at-bats lately because Bautista has to DH.
He doesn't get the consistent playing time, so he could lose his stroke. Plus, he's a great defender over there at first base. Brian Shaw, this is the third time that we have seen him in this 4-game series. 12 games already. Terry Francona loves to use his bullpen, and he loves to use this guy. He can't throw the ball straight. He's got that natural cutting action, likes to use that slider against the right-handers. He too was a Diamondback. He came over in that trade for today's starting pitcher, Trevor Bauer.
Yeah, they all came together. Devin Travis, with those 4 RBIs on the Grand Slam, has driven in 23. And this is his 24th game. So he has closed the gap behind Carlos Delgado. Fewest games to 20 RBIs by a Blue Jays rookie. Delgado set the mark in '94 with 17 games to reach 20 RBIs. Travis reached 20 RBIs, and this is 24th game. For Delgado, that was the high point of his season. After that, in his next 70 at-bats, he hit 186 and was sent back to the minors.
That was the year that he hit all the home runs?
94.
Do you know who might learn from that right there? Dalton Pompey. All he has to do is look at the stats of Carlos Delgado. Got off to a great start, and then he had to go back to the minor leagues.
And of course, then he became one of the best players in Blue Jays franchise history. 3-2 count. Travis strikes out. That is a nasty pitch up and away. Shaw comes in and retires the first man he faces on strikes.
You can do that. Plenty of games last year. You can see that's the slider right there. Pitched in 80 games last year for the Indians. One of those guys with the rubber arm. He can throw every day. You and I were watching him a couple of days ago throw down the left field line. His ball moves. It really moves.
And he's got that herky-jerky delivery that's difficult for hitters to locate that baseball and find the release point. He throws that left shoulder at you and then kind of hides the glove and the baseball.
Good job on their scouting report to have him included in that trade. You got a guy who can throw every other day out of your bullpen, and he throws strikes. Got 4 holds already this year.
The cutter is upstairs. 3-0 to Donaldson. Blue Jays trail by 2. We're in the 6th. It's been a back and forth affair. Donaldson will walk for a second time. That'll bring Bautista to the plate, representing the tying run.
The hitter for Toronto, number 19, Jose Bautista.
You know, the Blue Jays have scored a ton of runs. They lead the American League in runs scored, and they have seen a lot of leads evaporate because of the pitching. Does that start to wear on the hitters?
I would assume that it does. I've played on teams like that where you score runs and then you give it right back as that ball's flied out. You just have to get out there and just keep pounding away.
Bautista skies out to center field. Lord makes the catch. The inning is over. So we'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Cleveland riding a 6-run inning, takes a 8-2 lead.
issue.ca/baseball and get an extended 60-day free trial. Guys, our Twitter question today comes from @TheStrath. He wants to know, how long will it take before the league catches on to Devin Travis and how to pitch him?
Well, Barry, given the fact that Devin has hit a grand slam today, his first big league grand slam, I'd say they're still trying to figure out how to get him out. But, Pat, there has been a pattern we have seen when they do retire Devin Travis.
A lot of breaking balls away. You might start to see that. His batting average on those pitches away from him just a little bit over 200. But to his credit, Devin stays off of those pitches. Only when they're a strike is when he offers at him. A lot of times pitchers, when they face a guy for the first time here in the major leagues, they will challenge with the fastball. Say, okay, let's see if you can see if you can hit a good major league fastball. Well, he can do that. He has shown that he can hit the major league fastball. Now they're going to start throwing him more breaking balls.
He's just going to have to make sure that he lays off those breaking balls unless he gets 2 strikes and has to protect. Miguel Castro came into the ball game and struck out Brett Hayes to end the bottom of the 5th. Ground ball, Travis at second, right at the edge of the grass. Michael Bourne's retired.
The batter for the Dodgers, the second baseman, Jason Gibson.
21 degrees here in Cleveland at the start of this ball game, and beautiful crowd on hand for the series finale.
That's the new addition right there in the corner here at Progressive Field, a double-deck sports bar that you can hang out and watch a ball game. Sun splashed here in right field.
That's a beautiful addition to this ballpark. Yeah. Jason Kipnis has had a good series. He's homered twice in this series, including home run here this afternoon. He has 2 hits today and 3 trips, and he scored a pair of runs. He's doing just exactly what Terry Francona hoped he would do when he moved him into that leadoff spot.
Yeah, get hot, get on base, score some runs. Scored 2 of them already today.
Got another base hit. He just poked this one down left field line. Saunders is going to have to get it back in quickly as Kipnis has his 3rd hit of the afternoon. A little loop down the left field line.
It's a good player.
He has scored 5 runs in this series. He's got this outside pitch covered.
Yeah, that's a changeup, and he stays right with it. How about this approach? If you can keep your hands back and just make contact, he keeps it fair down the left field line. He was thinking, too, out of the box, too. Michael Saunders got over there and stopped him, held him to a single.
Jose Ramirez had an RBI double in the 5th inning. Kipnis has a couple of stolen bases. He was thrown out by Russell Martin yesterday. A terrific throw by Martin nailed him at second. Changeup pulled foul, and Ramirez going to need a new bat. Hit it toward the end of the bat and cracked his bat.
You know, it's one of the best throws that we have ever seen. Kipnis can run, and Russell Martin came out from behind home plate and fired a strike. If this ball's anywhere but on the bag like that, he's going to be safe. But Martin gets him. That's the 11th time he's caught a base runner this season.
Another ground ball through the left side. The Indians are going to force the Blue Jays to straighten up on defense. Ramirez with a 1-out single. First and second, 1 out. Let's check it with Jamie Campbell. And the Minnesota Twins got off to a terrible start. but they are at 500. They've won 3 in a row. They are 4 games back in that Central, and everybody was ready to write them off as they got off to an awful start, but they have put up 7 runs in the 3rd inning. Every time Michael Brantley comes to the plate, there are runners on.
That's how you draw it up. When you've got a guy hitting third, you put your best hitter in the 3rd hole. Hopefully you've got guys with good on-base percentage ahead of him, so when he comes up, he's got a chance to drive in a run.
They call the balk on Castro as he started and stopped as he was looking in for a sign. Boy, that's a big play for the Blue Jays as they lose the opportunity to get to double play.
You know what? I'm taking the bat out of Michael Brantley's hand right here.
Yeah.
Here's the balk. Watch, he's got the sign. He's looking, see if he flinches just a little bit to start, and he did. Just a little flinch.
Now they're going to put Brantley on, and that balk might not be a bad thing. John Gibbons said, you know what, we can't get this guy out anyway. So after the balk, he just is going to put Brantley on and work to Santana. Santana's no day at the beach. He's been on base all 3 times himself today. But that's what you get with the 3 and 4 hitters in any big league lineup.
Yeah, that's why they are there. That's Blue Jays have the same thing with Bautista and Encarnacion. Pick who you want to beat you. John Gibbons obviously doesn't want Brantley to beat him. He's seen that tune before. So okay, Santana, let's get a ball on the ground so we can get a double play.
So now you can see Gibbons giving the instruction to the corners. They want to go home to get the force at the plate. Up the middle, they'll turn 2. Scott Copeland is up, loosening up for the Blue Jays. And Santana 2 for 2 with a walk. Santana struck out against Castro on Friday night. Here he pulls it just foul. It was the first look that the Indians had at Miguel Castro. Santana struck out for the 2nd out of the inning, and Brandon Moss struck out to end the inning. That was the 8th. And when Moss swung at a changeup, he completely missed it, and he turned to the umpire and said, "What was that?" Because that was his changeup. So they know about the changeup now.
Yeah, and he's got to be able to throw it in the right spot at the right time of this at bat. Santana's got a great eye. Bases loaded. He's looking for something out over the plate.
There's that changeup, and he wouldn't bite. 2 balls and a strike. Blue Jays have a grand slam in this game. Devin Travis with his first career grand slam. It came in the 4th. Santana has 1 career grand slam. But he's hit .420 with the bases loaded.
Yeah, patient hitter. He's going to make Castro come to him.
Bases loaded walk. That forces a run in. It's 9-6 Indians. Second walk for Santana. Brandon Moss has a sacrifice fly. Got to throw strikes.
Yep. Use that fastball. His fastball's got good movement on it. They were not picking it up earlier. There. When you throw 95 plus with movement, Why mess around with the changeup?
Yeah, and if you throw it early in the account and get them to think about the fastball, that's when the changeup is best.
That's when you use it. Right.
It's a change of pace. That ball is hit to center field. Pilar will make the catch. Tagging at third is Ramirez. The runner Brantley at second will move up, and Moss has his second sac fly of the afternoon. That's his 18th ribby. 10-6 Cleveland.
For the Indians, the designated hitter, Ryan Rayburn.
So Ryan Rayburn will get his second at bat of the afternoon. He came up as a pinch hitter in the fifth with 2 on and hit the first pitch down the left field line off of Jeff Francis for a 2-run double.
Wow, what a play by Russell Martin. This guy throws so hard. That was 94 miles an hour with sink, and he just backhands it. Look, he wants the ball inside, and it's away. And he just picks it like a first baseman.
You don't have time to shift on that fastball. When you're set up inside, then the only chance you have is to backhand it. Ball and a strike. Blue Jays had a 6-1 lead at one point in this game. Ryan Rayburn doesn't have many at bats against righty pitching. He's 0 for 4. 3-1. This is only the second time this season the Indians have scored 10 or more runs. For comparison's sake, the Blue Jays have scored 6 or more, scored 10 or more runs 6 times.
6 times already. There's that good sink. When he stays on top of that ball, it's almost unhittable. When he's got that kind of sink, you throw it right down the middle. And hitters have trouble squaring it up. They'll hit the top part of that ball.
Rayburn strikes out, but the Indians add 2 more runs here in the 6th. They have expanded their lead to 4 runs. It's now 10-6 Cleveland. Castro strikes out Rayburn to end the 6th. We'll go to the 7th. Encarnacion, Martin, and Pilar will bat when we come back to Cleveland. Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. Lots of Blue Jay fans have made their way here. Of course, there's a gentleman who's got an Expo shirt on. New pitcher for Cleveland will be the big right-hander, Zach McAllister.
He's a former third-round draft pick of the New York Yankees. Zach McAllister has already pitched one time in this series. There are his numbers this year. 0-1 with a .432 earned run average. He's very aggressive in the strike zone. He'll attack the hitters, and when he's on, that nasty sinking fastball generate a lot of ground ball outs. He can pitch multiple innings out of that bullpen for Terry Francona with a 4-run lead. That might be just what Francona needs.
The Indians will go to Kansas City to play the Royals after this game. A 3-game set against Kansas City. Of course, the Royals are really swinging the bats well now. They have a half-game lead over the Tigers in the Central.
They have an off day tomorrow to the Indians.
That series will start on Tuesday. Danny Salazar will open it up for Cleveland against Jason Vargas.
Saw Nick Swisher in the locker room today. He came up from Columbus. He wants to play on Tuesday when they open that series, but it might be more like Friday.
Encarnacion strikes out to start the 7th. Another good breaking ball.
McAllister, a former starter, so he's got multiple innings in him. There's that slider right on the black for the first out.
Russell Martin singled his last time up. Martin hit a ball to the backhand side of Lonnie Chisenhall deep at third and was credited with an infield hit.
Lots of hits this series for both teams.
Blue Jays had 14 hits in last night's game. 8 on Friday and 7 on Thursday night. Indians had 11, 13, 6, and now 12. So Martin taps that ball to third and came out of the batter's box very gingerly. He reached for that ball and he was off balance. 2 down here quickly in the 7th.
And George Poulos saw the same thing we did. Another slider, he has to reach for it. Started to come out of the box, and you can see a little skip there. Like something might have been strained, might have done something.
Kevin Pillar 0-4 so far today. 0-for-2. He was hit by a pitch. Pillar's had a good road trip. He's boosted his average up to 283 as we speak.
He's had an extra base hit in 6 straight games. That's what kind of road trip that he's had. Not to mention the great defense that we've seen from him.
Lines this one to center field. Bourne on hit run and makes a running catch just in front of the 400-foot sign. Pillar hit it hard, but Michael Bourne ran it down in deep center field. He'll go to the bottom of the 7th. Cleveland with a 4-run lead. Fame pitcher. And they had a museum in Van Meter, Iowa, his hometown, and that museum closed down. So they brought some of the memorabilia here to this ballpark, and they've displayed it very appropriately here in Progressive Field.
In the terrace area here down the left field line, and I like this, the war parts of the area for Bob Feller and his career, acknowledging the wartime. And that is a seat right here in the press box just down the road from us here, Buck, with the golden seat where Bob Feller used to sit and watch the Indians for so many years.
Bob Feller missed the 42, 43, and 44 seasons due to his service in the Navy. In 1939, as a 20-year-old, he won 24 games for Cleveland. He won 27 in 1940, 25 and 41, and then he was taken away from baseball like so many Major League players for their efforts for World War II. But it's great to honor the late Bob Feller here in Cleveland.
Or his numbers would have been outstanding. 8-time All-Star, 44 shutouts, first number retired by the Cleveland Indians.
Scott Copeland is the new pitcher into the ball game here in the 7th.
Here are his numbers in his 4 starts for Buffalo, 2-1 with a 144 earned run average. We saw Scott, after he was called up in yesterday's game, come in and make his major league debut, and it was a successful one. Faced the top of the lineup, gave up a hit, but then retired the next 3 batters. So he gets to work back-to-back days here.
Well, he has the ability to finish out this game if he could be effective, and I believe John Gibbons would love that. Copeland, of course, started in AAA. Yankees come to town starting tomorrow night, 3-game series, so you want to conserve all your bullpen innings if possible. Blue Jays trail by 4. It'll be Lonnie Chisenhall, Brett Hayes, and Michael Bourne for the Indians. That's a bouncing ball, a fair ball, and Copeland gets the first man here in the 7th.
The 2015 Honda CR-V is the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays and Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame down on the shores of Lake Erie. Not far from this ballpark. Great destination for visitors to Cleveland. Brett Hayes has gone 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. He, in fact, struck out twice in the 5th inning as the Indians sent 10 men to the plate. It's a long day at the old yard. Copeland is the 8th pitcher to pitch here this afternoon.
I like your idea about resting up the bullpen before that series. You know, the Yankees in Boston, that's never easy. Blue Jays going with 7 relievers right now. Still looking for depth in these games from their starters. They just have not been able to give them the innings that they need.
Now, and every night you're asking 2 or 3 relievers to finish up a game with 3 or more innings of work. This is popped up near second base. Goins, the shortstop, calls for it. Oakland retires the first 2 in the 7th. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Ground ball. Goins at short, throws on the run in time to retire Michael Bourne. 3 up, 3 down for Scott Copeland.
receive a free Dooney and Burke cosmetic bag. Available while supplies last. Visit jshop.ca for more. Buck?
Thank you, Barry. Good opportunity to get all the latest in Jays memorabilia. Stop by the Jays Shop at Eaton Center and check it out. A lot of fans here in Cleveland. They've done their shopping, all decked out in blue. Right now, they want to see the Blue Jays rally a bit. Jays trail by 4 as we bat here in the 8th. Michael Saunders. He's been on base all 3 times he's come to the plate. He has walked and singled twice. Scored a run and driven one in.
He's had a good day. He has taken that walk and a couple of singles. Played a good left field today, too.
You got to believe he's getting stronger and stronger with every game. His knee, obviously, a problem. That left knee had the surgery back in February.
And you keep working it out. Get on the weights just to try and keep that knee joint structurally sound so you can have your legs underneath it when you swing.
Ball goes off the catcher's glove.
You know, one thing I've noticed, and this is the first time that I've had a chance to watch Michael play some consistent baseball. We saw him a few times when he was with Seattle. He's got a good eye at the plate. Doesn't chase too many pitches off the dish.
There, he's caught looking at strike 3. One down in the 8th. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell.
At bat for Toronto, the shortstop, Ryan Goins.
St. Louis playing great baseball in that National League Central Division. Cubs are right behind him, just 3.5 games back at the start of play.
Watch out for Pittsburgh in that division. I like that Pittsburgh team.
That was a little bit short of the mark as it bounced in front of home plate. Ryan Goins. Reminder, lots of hockey action coming up later on tonight on Sportsnet. Also on CBC. There's a base hit up the middle for Goins. Brian's first base hit of the afternoon.
That stops a streak of 5 straight set down by the Indians bullpen. He's been robbed of a hit one time today. Ryan has. Last time up, they turned it into a double play. That time right back through the middle.
Ball he hit last time up went through the legs of the pitcher and was turned into a double play. This is Ezekiel Carrera.
I thought he kicked that ball.
Looked like he kicked a little bit. It might have hit off the rubber, but it certainly was deflected either by the pitcher or by the mound. 1 out. Number 9 hitter. He didn't mean to. Check swing foul into the seats behind the Indians dugout. The Indians again have out hit the Blue Jays 12-8. They lead 10-6.
Blue Jays again have only scored in 1 inning. Yesterday they kept the pressure on. They scored in 5 different innings.
There's another ball pitcher kicks at. That's going to be a base hit for Carrera. McAllister, he's a big man. He kicked at that ball, hit him in the legs, but didn't deflect to an infielder.
And the bottom of the order does it again. They get a couple of runners on. Watch this one, right back through the middle. Carrera could run Even if they caught that, they weren't going to turn two, but he kicks it into no man's land. No chance for anybody to get this one. It's an infield hit, and now Devin Travis heads up to the plate, but before that, Terry Francona is going to head to the mound.
Interesting time for a move. Well, Travis hit a grand slam earlier in the game, his first of his career. He'll step to the plate with 2 men aboard. McAllister is out.
Scott Atchison will trot in from the bullpen and try and finish up this mess here in the 8th inning.
Blue Jays aren't done yet, threatening here in the 8th. And went an inning, gave up a hit and walked a batter, but no runs came across.
9 innings this season, 0-1 with a 5 earned run average, 2 holds, and only 1 of 7 inherited runners have scored against Scott Atchison.
Grand slam home run in the 4th, his first career grand slam, of course, and he now has 7 home runs. He needs a base hit right here to keep the inning alive, keep things going. Keep the line moving, as they say.
And try and figure out a way to get the tying run to the plate on a guy who can leave the yard.
Good rip at that high fastball. The grand slam by Travis is the first the Blue Jays have hit here in Cleveland since October 3rd of 1999. Tony Bautista hit a grand slam home run, and Travis is the first since '99 here in Cleveland. We also mentioned with Devin crossing the 20 RBI plateau, this is 24th game. That's the second fastest for a rookie to reach 20 RBIs in franchise history for the Blue Jays. Delgado reached 20 RBIs in just 17 games in '94.
What did your hitting coach used to tell you when you're swinging the bat like that? Stay right there. Don't change a thing.
Don't start thinking on me.
No, you only hurt the ball club.
Took something off that breaking ball, and Atchison gets a big strikeout.
That's his bread and butter pitch right there. That good overhand curveball. And Devin Travis hasn't seen it before. You can see the spin, how it goes straight down. And it's hard. His first batter he's faced, he struck him out. It's a good pitch.
Josh Donaldson with 2 aboard. Foul at the plate. Donaldson doesn't have an official at bat against Atchison. Donaldson walked when he faced Atchison on Friday night. He was hitting in the leadoff spot. in that game.
He's been around a long time. Atchison. He's pitched for different organizations, and he's not going to get rattled in this situation. He doesn't mind pitching with runners in scoring position. This year he's only given up 1 hit with runners in scoring position. He'll figure out a way. He doesn't blow the ball by you.
Upstairs, Atchison is now 39 years old. And you're right, he has pitched a lot. This is his 9th big league season. Little fly ball into center. Lauren is there, and the inning is over. Blue Jays get 2 aboard, but stranded pair. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. It's a 10-6 Indians lead. Now it's time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zong.
Miss a game. Subscribe at sportsnet.ca/set reminder or by tweeting #schedule to @sportsnet.
We have moved to the bottom of the 8th inning, and at one point in this game the Blue Jays had a 6-1 lead. That was going into the bottom of the 4th, and then the Indians stormed back 1 in the 4th, 6 in the 5th, 2 more in the 6th, and they lead at 10-6. Top of the order, Kipnis, Ramirez, and Brantley.
Been on base 10 times this series. He has really set the table for the Indians in this 4-game series.
The Indians have aspirations of contending in the Central, and Terry Francona shook up the lineup. He dropped Michael Bourne out of the leadoff spot, put him in the 9th hole. And Kipnis, he's just wearing out that 5-6 hole, and he's going to hustle into second base, and he'll get there easily. Jason Kipnis, a 4-hit game.
You know, you said it earlier. The Indians have been wearing out that hole all afternoon, and it's going to straighten out the defense. They were playing him to pull just a little bit. He takes that little sinker and just slices it the other way. And he's not content with just a single. He's got enough speed, and he's getting himself into scoring position. He's already scored 3 runs this afternoon. He wants more.
Ramirez bunts it up the first baseline. Copeland will throw him out. Kipnis moves to third, sacrificed by Jose Ramirez.
Saw that one coming. Get that runner to third base with less than 2 outs and bring up your best hitter. Michael Brantley's last 9 games, he's got 17 hits, so why not bunk Kipnis over to third base?
Kipnis with his 4 hits. It's only the second Indians player to have 4 hits in a game this season. Michael Brantley has a 4-hit game. And Brantley's at the plate now, 2 for 3 with a walk. Infield is in. you've got a rookie pitcher on the mound, and Brantley doesn't have any information, so Blue Jays are just rolling the dice. Got a switch hitter on deck in Santana, and Santana's been on base 4 times today.
Take a chance that he hits one right at somebody on the infield. That's why they are in. Kipnis will probably play this ball through where they are hitting in their lineup. Their RBI men are at the plate.
Kipnis is 8 for 17 in the series. Three and one. Got to be careful here now that you've fallen behind. Don't give in to Brantley.
Well, he's been so patient. He just will not offer it that sinker off the plate.
Blue Jays have walked 5 so far this afternoon. Hutchison, another disappointing start. He goes 4 1/3, charged with 6 earned runs on 8 hits. His ERA after his outing today, 7.47. Jeff Francis worked an inning, or worked a third of an inning. He is charged with 2 runs on 2 hits. And Castro, an inning and a third. He too gives up 2 runs on 2 hits. 10 runs on 13 hits for Cleveland. Ball 4. You could bet that Russell Martin just wanted to remind Copeland, let's don't give in to this guy now. The Blue Jays have a double play situation.
And with that sinker, you're hoping that Santana offers at it and gets it on the ground, but his last 2 times up, he's been very patient. A couple of walks. The middle of the diamond is going to go for 2. The shortstop and the second baseman.
They're getting a little bit confusion right now as Travis is looking in for some guidance from the dugout, but they are shortened up the middle.
And they're telling him a sharply hit ball, go for 2. A slow hit ball to the middle of the infield, you got to come home. Can't give up any more runs. So there was some indecision there of the young middle infielders.
Outside, it's 2-0 to Santana. Very dangerous hitter. He's walked twice today. Patient. Now the infielders appear to be set with their positioning. Three and 0. Santana will have the green light. You can bet on that. Ball 4. He walks for a 3rd time. That's 7 walks now for Cleveland. Nobody's throwing in the Blue Jays bullpen. Bases are loaded. 1 out. Brandon Moss will step in the right fielder.
This is the guy who's had all the benefit of the runners on base today. He's had some sacrifice flies, a couple of sacrifice flies.
Another ball upstairs. Scott Copeland had a good first inning of work. He retired the bottom 3 in order in the 7th, but top of the order as it's done all afternoon, creating problems for the Blue Jays. The top four in the order have had 20 plate appearances this afternoon. They've reached base 15 times. Going to score a lot of runs.
That's going to score you a lot of runs.
Right back to the mound, and he hesitates, goes to home for one, and Copeland initially wasn't sure where to go, but he does the right thing. They get the 1-2-3 double play to end the inning. We'll go to the ninth. Blue Jays need a late rally.
Attend the Roberto Alomar Friends Charity Home Run Challenge. It's in support of Jays Care Foundation. It goes at Rogers Center May 7th and in London at Labatt Park June 23rd. Join Roberto Alomar, Jesse Barfield, Lloyd Mosby, Devon White, and Dwayne Ward. A big cast of characters there. Buck?
Thank you very much, Barry. We have made it to the ninth, and Blue Jays will have 3, 4, and 5 to bat here in the ninth. They hope to rally late. Cody Allen will make his 10th appearance of the season. This is not a save situation for Allen.
Yeah, the second time in this series that they have seen Cody Allen. There are his numbers. The ERA over 10. He's had some bad outings trying to right the ship a little bit with the day off tomorrow for the Indians. Terry Francona wants to get his closer some work.
It's the 5th reliever to pitch for Cleveland. Bautista takes it outside. Zubchinski, Shaw, McAllister, Atchison, and now Allen. Straight back in our direction, and Bautista with a 1-1 count. This is popped up and playable out in front of home plate. Santana, the first baseman, calls off the catcher and makes the catch. One down. Well, the Blue Jays had hopes of getting to 500 today. Came into the game 12-13. And it looks as though they'll slip to 3-7 on the road trip.
Yeah, a rough road trip. Lots of walks, lots of strikeouts through Tampa, Boston, and Cleveland. They jumped out to that big lead 6-1, and it looked like maybe they can gain some momentum.
This is over behind the Blue Jays dugout, out of play. Boy, that's a great point. You figure, okay, we're going to score 6 runs, and we have a chance to win the finale and
take 3 out of 4.
Yeah, it would be, a little bit of good news at the end of a disappointing road trip. But now you got to go in Monday night and play the Yankees. And the Yankees have been hot. They're 15-9. One good thing about the Monday night game, the Yankees and the Red Sox, as they always do, playing Sunday night baseball. And they are in Boston.
So that's a late night for the Yanks.
A late night for sure. Adam Warren will start for New York. He'll be opposed by Joe Kelly. Blue Jays saw Kelly last time they were in Boston. Blue Jays down to their final out. Russell Martin. Russell's had a hit here this afternoon. Fouls this one out of play. Russell lined out in the second inning, and he really had a good at bat that first time up, and it was right at the center field. And an infield hit in the fifth off the glove of the third baseman Chisholm. 1 for 4 this afternoon.
Then grounded out. Looked like he had a little trouble coming out of the batter's box. Now he gets to face the closer.
Hits this ball high and deep to left. This is way back. It's going to leave the park. Russell Martin, his 5th home run of the season, comes with 2 outs in the ninth.
There you go. He is swinging a hot bat, and when he is swinging a hot bat, you're going to get a lot of extra base hits. Doesn't get any easier when you're facing the closer, but Russell can just jog around the bases as he scores himself. That's his 15th RBI. It's a good looking swing.
Boy, hit it deep, well up into those bleachers in left center.
Short stroke, turns that fastball around. Off of Allen. Those are the problems that Cody Allen had early in the season, and why they wanted to get him an inning here.
Kevin Pillar looking for his first hit of the afternoon. How about that fan? Barehanded catch. Everybody around him's got a glove and her hat. He catches it with 2 bare hands. Pillar rips it foul. Russell Martin began the road trip batting 159. He's up to 227.
I'm sure he'd trade that all in for a win today.
A few wins, that's for sure.
It's the kind of guy that he is.
One and 2. Ball game. Cody Allen strikes out 2 in the ninth. Russell Martin hits a solo home run. The Blue Jays fall short here on the series finale.
Yeah, discouraging loss, I think, for the Blue Jays, because they put together 6 runs and had a 6-1 lead early in the game. Their starter cannot get through the 5th inning once again, and that's the only inning that they scored until that last inning, that home run right there by Russell Martin. So the Indians salvage a split against the Blue Jays. Blue Jays much rather gone home, winning 3 out of 4 here.
A reminder, coming up at 6, it's Sportsnet Central. More hockey coming up tonight, CBC and on Sportsnet 360. Make sure you stay tuned. Lots of hockey. We'll see you tomorrow night from Rogers Center. The Yankees are in town. Now it's time for Greg and Jamie. Here's Blue Jays Central.